Hey, chat family. Welcome to the Chat Suite. Thanks for stopping by. As you know, we have been talking about one of our favorite subjects, relationships. Yes, the big R, as Shani said a couple episodes back. So we've been sitting around talking about these relationships for the timeless woman. We talked to a bunch of other women, and we just wanted to kind of really throw it out on the platform and really try to dig down into it and have this conversation today. I'm married. My two co-hosts, Shani and Monique, they are single. And so we are really looking at what is the timeless woman looking for at this point in her life. 2021, pre-COVID, post-COVID, in the middle of COVID, outside of COVID. We're going to start out with a discussion about what is the timeless woman, just in your dating experience, in your experience with other women of all walks of life, because we are talking about all women inclusive. What are we looking for in a mate? Do we want a lover, a companion, a friendship friend, a travel buddy? What does it look like?
In my circle and the women that I have communicated with, we want consistency. That's the most important thing, consistency. Because a lot of women have found that they are, meeting guys and it's just inconsistent. And we're looking for consistency and stability. That is one of the two top things that I hear when I'm talking to my friends, that because we just can't have the same, okay, you call in today, we're doing this today, then 5 days later, it's like, what, you don't hear from the person, or they can't, making excuses and all that stuff. So I think consistency, stability are the top things that I have heard in my circle.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Consistency is very, very important. You're right. I think in handling or polling many women I'm around, finding a man who is, okay, it's kind of double-edged, secured in himself, because I have talked to a lot of women that are pretty established and doing their own thing. So having a man that's confident in himself and able to provide for himself. So I always hear, I would like someone who is doing just as well as I am or better, So with, I think, the timeless woman, of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking, probably over 35 or so. Many people have been married already. They've had really long-term relationships. So now they're knowing what makes them happy or makes them secure, and we're starting to really look at the future right now. So I would say someone who you don't want to really struggle with. The struggle that
love is gone.
We're not
the 20s.
struggling anymore. Yeah, that was years ago. If that had to happen, that was back then. So we're not struggling. So someone that is kind of, I want to tentatively say they're equal when it comes to how their means, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
So, just listening to you all talk, and again, just the different women that we've spoken with, like you said, at our age, you're saying anywhere from 35 up, 35 in the 40s, over the 50s. A lot of women, of course, we know are doing amazing. They are hugely successful, and whether they are working at amazing jobs, corporate America, whatever they're working, entrepreneurs, they're a whole gamut of what women are doing right now. We're moving really fast in a really great way. And so I always wonder and say to myself, because I know a ton of wonderful women, and then, it seems like it's really hard for them to connect. Then you'll have these conversations with guys, and they're like, yeah, I'm looking for a great woman. And I'm like, how is it so hard for this situation to come together? So I'm just throwing this out, and I'm just being devil's advocate because it's a conversation that needs to be had. If you, again, established woman doing great, what if you've met a man that is honestly amazing? And I want someone that's evenly yoked with yourself. Be it mentally, financially, and so I understand that. But if you met a gentleman that had all the boxes checked off, and maybe they weren't as, successful financially as you are, is that a deal breaker for a woman?
In my opinion, I personally, no, but I do know of some that would say, yes, that is a deal breaker. Mm-hmm. Now, when you say that they're not as financially successful, it's like, to me, it's maybe their career may not match yours. However,
Mhm.
they are wise with their money and they save their money and they know what to do with that. That's a plus. That you have to consider that also.
Right.
So I don't necessarily turn away men who are not, let's say, professional or whatever. How you handle your lifestyle and your way of life, and as long as you're not struggling, I'm open to that. But like I said, there are some women who would not be. But personally, me, and I know a couple people I know that would be like, it's okay, it doesn't matter about that as long as you are taking care of your business.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Monique? I mean, how do you feel about? I mean, because like I said, it's different for every woman. I mean, because you never know a woman's background and what they've gone through, what they've been through. And so some things are deal breakers where they just say, well, maybe I dealt with a gentleman before who his finances weren't where they needed to be. And that just didn't really work for me, because a lot of times we have to remember this. Unfortunately, sometimes with a gentleman, if he is not equally yoked or even more financially stable than a woman, that if he's not a strong man, that can tend to bother a man's an ego. And so that gentleman has to be strong in himself with that as well. So, I mean, where do you stand in that space, Monique, or the women that you've communicated with?
Well, I think you just said something really important for me, because I mean, I have my day job. Also, when I'm an entrepreneur, I'm always starting businesses and different things.
Right.
That the guy I'm looking for needs to be a go-getter. Now, I've heard plenty of women that I polled say that, no, that is a deal breaker, because they're not that at this age for them, they are not looking to, well, we just have a little, but you know what? I'll backtrack and say, if there's someone that's doing just as well, but you're saying maybe not as well.
Yeah.
You still put your money together. We've got hypergamy running wild through YouTube, everybody. I know you know what hypergamy is, but that is when you are not settling for the man that cannot provide 100%, where your check is just a bonus. He pays all the bills. So hypergamy is really racing through social media right now. I see some advantages, but we are going to talk later on. And when women have that list, or when they say, hey, I don't want to have to pay any of the bills, there's some things that we as women need to do in that role, as far as personality wise and how available we are to our mates and all of that. So I would say, for me, the go-getter, the guy who's always, hey, I'm investing in this, like LaShawn said. I just found out about some kind of new deal, or always trying to look to improve himself. That to me is commendable. That is sexy completely for me, because that's how I am. I'm always moving and hopefully moving upward. So that just staying the same every day to me.
And so, yes, I want to
add something else to that too.
Go right ahead before I ask my next question.
I was just thinking, and I know we spoke about, we're thinking about that what's her name, B Simone or whatever she said, because what if there was someone who you were interested in, not I mean just you in general, I don't mean anybody personally, who was a millionaire. What if the guy had the same kind of sentiments,
right, yeah.
And I just like, so I don't necessarily, like I said, I don't necessarily subscribe to that. Like, I don't now, mind you, I don't want to struggle now. I don't want to be saying, oh honey, you got the mortgage, we can't get the mortgage, we gonna get put out. No, nothing like that. However, I am open to, someone who is not necessarily in the same professional, maybe not even a professional, if you have a blue collar or whatever, I'm not opposed to that at all.
Right. So I will say that I think a lot of things that we haven't thought about too, because we tend to look at what a gentleman is doing with his, career and whether or not he has a college degree or not. But I will just say that there are, and I mean, I've discovered this, there are a lot of gentlemen that are working in a lot of different jobs that are not quote unquote white collar jobs that are get a great living, a year, and they make great, their finances are real good. So I mean, ladies, I just want the ladies to know, don't always, have to consider this has to be a college degree, because there are so many different ways in which a person can elevate their finances. And
especially now, especially these days.
More than ever. So you have to really, of course, first get to know the person, make sure this person is, again, with this consistency, with this consideration, this person is what this woman wants. They're bringing to the table what this woman needs. But one thing I wanted to just ask just a little bit about, Monique, I mean, if you could just speak on it quickly, why do you think this is running so rampant with this? You said it's hypergamy. Yeah, hypergamy through the social media. I mean, what is the big craze with this now? What are women saying as opposed to men? Because like you said, LaShawn, it sounds okay because we know as women, yes, I want a man that, he has the finances together. But if a gentleman is saying that and he's looking for that woman who's equally yoked with him financially in that way, all of a sudden it's almost a crush to the woman's heart, because it's like, because as it stands, things become a little bit lopsided in that way.
So there's a couple things. So first of all, B. Simone was saying, if you want a man with perfect teeth, are your teeth perfect? Or have you been to the dentist? Those things, maybe not the lady, he has to have lots of money, but like if you want, I want him to wait on me hand and foot. Are you willing to wait on your gentleman hand and foot and be patient with him and everything? So those things that aren't really tangible, but are you look inside and make sure that you're good with the person that you are, and you're not expecting something from the other person. But hypergamy, I think, is running rapid, and I get it. I think many of us had that generation where our mother said, I know my mother and my grandmother said, you need your education. You're not depending on a man for anything. So, I have a master's, I have getting my educational specialist, it was just education, make sure you have that. And Kevin Samuels says, and like I said, we'll talk about him later, but African-American women, or our culture, we went to college, we wanted to get a degree. Maybe other cultures came to college, they attended college, and their intent was getting married. So I think in this generation, these generations here, X and even I would say, well, not millennials. Yeah. So Generation X, we're hustling. We're trying to make sure that the woman has everything she needs. Is that to a fault? You could say so. So now in comes a younger generation who says, and then we see celebrities who, Lori Harvey, we'll talk about her, who, she's a celebrity in her own right, but she's dating all these, these guys, and she has her pick of the litter. And we know she's not, they're pretty up there, top tier. So when we have this social media and we're seeing all the opulence around anyway, so now it's like, okay, I need a high value man. So that's the buzzword, high value man. But to be a high value man, they expect a certain kind of woman. So then you got your men who are on YouTube talking about what is a high value man and how to be that. And then you have the woman who says, hey, I am the prize and I want a guy who can do everything for me. And I don't need to do anything, but I need to, those websites or those people are saying, you need to stay fit. You need to stay positive. You need to be on your game, ladies, if that's the kind of man you want, and then the men know that they're of value too. So you've got everyone empowering themselves on social media, which is a good thing, but we still need each other, I feel. And, you know what I mean? We still need each other. Yeah, and I don't mind saying I am divorced. So there are things that I've learned, and maybe that independent, strong woman wasn't always the card to play every day, day in and day out. But that's how I was raised. So there are lessons, it's lessons we learn.
lots of lessons, and it's so interesting because we would need a longer time to. We're gonna have to continue this conversation on some other episodes too, because a lot of what you're saying, because social media, it really is affecting probably even women in our generation and how they're looking at things and things that maybe women would have settled for in the past. Just again on how we were raised, because we were raised with go to school, get that education. Some of us were first generation college graduates in our families because our families had come, in different ways. So, I mean, that exists in our generation X community. But so we did go to school to get that education, become that independent woman, that strong woman, don't depend on a man, things like that. And like you said, other ethnicities have maybe a different mindset in when they've gone to college. And that, you hear it, it might not be true. We can't say it for certain or whatever, but we have been driven as strong women. But again, strong woman, I need love.
Strong woman needs love, honey.
Yeah, strong women need love too. Strong women need love too. Gigolos get lonely too, honey.
Right.
We're dating ourselves.
Oh my God.
So what I'm saying, and so this is what I'm saying, we have to get it right, because we don't want to get ourselves so far removed from, I need this man that's doing all this for me, and I'm just going to sit back and do this, because again, if I want this man to be this person, I mean, this goes into a whole different realm of everything, because that woman is not a new woman. That woman was a trophy woman back then. And so now we're bringing the trophy woman back into the picture again. Because when you want when a woman is to sit and be this particular, paper cutout,
showpiece,
she is what they called a long time ago. I'm sorry, new social media, but that was called a trophy woman a long time ago. So you know what I mean? And yes, that woman can do that. She can go to the gym every day. She can be ready when you get home. She can have on our sexy lingerie. She can stay fit. She can, all of that can exist. Also, like you said, Monique, and I know you agree, LaShawn, when you are that woman and you're sitting in that space, sometimes you have to be a certain woman, because can you sit in that space and be that for that man and still be that big personality that woman is when she's out in the work world? Is that woman out leading up corporate America, leading up her own businesses, and then coming home and having a little bit of submissiveness to herself so that she can appease this man and make sure that he is the king in his house and not, and she's fulfilling all of that. So, I mean, I think social media, I'm just saying, I don't know, I'm listening to this and I just think, we have to be careful, because it's almost like a lot can get put on a woman. Our expectations, and we have to have high expectations, but a lot comes with that when you open yourself up to, I want to sit here and everything is handled. And I love that. Don't get me wrong on that either. But we have to be, are we ladies, family, are we ready to sit in this role and be that particular woman? Let us know in the chat box. Please comment in on this. We want to know. I do have enough. So that's just, we're going to come back. This is one episode of many on this particular, because this relationship thing is big. I want to know, it's real big. I want to know also from you ladies, for the timeless woman, if you are looking to get married again, if you've never been married, are you looking for, we've already talked about really the socioeconomic status. You kind of want someone that's right up there with you or even above. As Monique said, I want someone that's goal-oriented, who's ambitious, he's a go-getter. What are your deal breakers? Can he are you looking for someone without children? A certain age children? Is it okay for this man to still have all these female friends that he had before you got with him? It's so many different aspects of what that woman is looking for when I'm not just talking about the 35 and 40-year-olds right now. I'm talking about a little bit more timeless. Let's be honest with you. When you are in that next phase, again, I have it all together. My career is together. My thoughts are together. I know exactly what I want. I'm looking for a mate. I want him to have his finances together. He's goal-oriented. What are your deal breakers? So we got to let these men know. So when they approach the timeless woman, listen, when they approach the timeless woman, they got to come correct. We got Kevin Samuelson out here telling these women, who they're not. Let's make sure we get these men correct so they can know how to approach these women at the same time. And so what works for us, what doesn't work for us, let's let them know. Let the men know. So when they chime in, when they cue into the chat suite, they know what is the timeless lady looking for.
Well, personally, as far as I love children, and I don't have any personally, but at my age, I am not quite interested in raising like baby children, little children, like, toddlers and all that stuff. And to me, a man because I want to date a man who is, up there, past 35, past 40, 50-ish, between those ages.
Yeah.
And if you have a young child, like a baby child, that means that you like young girls. And so that's a problem right there.
Listen, you're keeping it straight, and your perspective is very relevant because there are a lot of women who feel the same way. If this is a gentleman who is 55 years old and he has a 3-year-old, you know what I'm saying? That speaks a certain language to that woman. And so that can take a woman can say, hold on a second, because I want to make sure I'm a woman that you're interested in, and that you're not with me, but your eye is always over there, in a different way. And so that's respect. That's honesty. I appreciate that. For you, Monique, how are you looking at it? Because we kind of had a little conversation about this, and you had a really unique perspective that I hadn't heard before. But I love it at the same time.
Yeah, I am in agreement with LaShawn that if he has like a 2-3-year-old, you've been mixed up in something else anyway. So, we're not gonna really see eye to eye. But you never know. You never know out here. It's just a wild, wild west going on. but I think I would love to have date a guy who has like kids, like 3, 4, because I don't have any, and I'm an only child. So this started coming to me probably in the past 2 or 3 years, because my family getting smaller and smaller, unfortunately, and they're getting older, and I like the youth. I like young people in the house and around. So I think I like that, though, just because I'm an only child and our family is older, so I would not mind it. I think when you think of the kids and being younger, what kind of relationship does the guy have with mom or the ex-wife? You have to take that into consideration, but we're talking about mature men. Yeah. Right? Who have had lives before us. Yeah. So again, that mature man has handled what he needs to handle when it comes to mom and ex-wife too.
So I love that you said, because I was just getting ready to spin it to my next point that we said, when you said for the people who've had lives before us, like you said, everybody's had a life before they got into their relationship. We've had friends, male, female, whomever. How do you all feel about moving into that relationship? A great relationship. I love this man. He's fantastic. Oh my goodness. He has like these 3 or 4 good girlfriends that he loves to hang out with. They're on the phone all the time. How do you feel about this? Does it work for you? Does it not? You got to let the men know. They want to know, how do they approach the timeless woman?
Oh, again, I'm like, the more the merrier, meaning I always said that if a guy has a great friend, and literally she has to be his friend, only, not, not that the lines don't need to be blurred on that. But if he has someone that will give him a woman's perspective, I'm all for it. Mm-hmm. I have a few male friends that are friends, and they look out for me and tell me when, stuff I don't need to hear about myself, I feel like you need that. So I am not of the thought that, okay, you need to shut all these people down, because we are a little older now and we've had lives, we've had great friends for years. And for me to step in, let me tell you, my biggest thing is I want someone to accept me how I am. And I want to be able to accept the guy how he is. So he comes with 2 great kids and a best friend that's a woman. Okay, well, then hopefully she'll be a great friend to me too. You know, nothing crazy and nothing messy, as they say, but just, you know, we're all friends. I mean, and like, again, I'm an only child, so I'm thinking of holidays. I'm thinking of great times where people can share and they can laugh and they can enjoy each other, you know? So that's where I am when it comes to that. Again, this is a mature man. This isn't somebody who wants to bring in the drama because we've been young. We're not doing drama anymore. Easy is my middle name. Not like that, but smooth and easy relationships. Not like that, you are.
Like, be easy. I guess.
Yeah, not easy.
I love that. I love that.
You know what you all know what I mean.
Yeah. Well,
So,
you know, I know you, Monique, you've always been like that. The more the merrier. But I'm like, less is best. No, but seriously, no. But if you have, if a man that I'm interested in has female friends that he has had for years and they're cool friends, I'm have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And I'll meet, like, so we can all hang out. I'm open to that. You know, I'm a friendly person. I like to meet new people too. I'm good with that. However, like, you know, new friends, that's
new friends are different. Yeah.
That's a problem for me. New friends, not new female friends. Now, friends that you've had for years and you've been hanging out with them, and we can all meet together. You come over for dinner, come over for events and everything. Then I have no problem with that.
Well, and I have to say too that, you know, it's all good and all works in theory, but, you know, sometimes it is interesting because
it is.
Sometimes, you know, friends of each other, they can be territorial. And so I always say that if there's a friend, definitely, you know, let that person become your mate's friend. But that person needs to understand their position and their lane as well, so that they stand respectful in all situations with each other. So, you know, like you said, if that person is chit-chatting on the phone with your mate, that needs to not be a worry in your mind. And so go right ahead, Monique.
You know what I was going to say when I was just talking to a girlfriend, it was so cute. And she said, you know what? I feel like she's been conversing with a guy on the phone for a little while, and she feels like she loves him, you know, and they really haven't seen each other and spent the kind of, you know, adult time when they're dating and everything. And I said, these COVID times are like when we were in high school, when we couldn't see our boyfriends and you're on the phone, you're watching TV, those were the good old days, you all. I know you don't want to admit it right now. No, we don't.
You can really get to know someone that.
But now you got to really know them. And so if you have this good friends and now you and I are dating, hopefully, because this is a deal, like a non-negotiable. I want us to be really cool and friends, enjoy each other's company. And so now I am your close friend. I am your best friend, you know? So friendship is really big to me these days. And just, like I said, being your authentic self with that person. Right. That's very important. When we were younger and we want to be a certain way in front of him and he can't see this side. At this point, friendship and solid relationships is what we need, as we can see in this world, what's going on right now.
That's so true. That is so true. Well, I mean, this is such good conversation just as it relates again to what the timeless woman is looking for, what she needs. And we really want, because we're here at the Chat Suite. We want to bring this thing together. Like we have so many wonderful women, like I said, and then there are wonderful men out there. And we want these bridges to come together. Like it is time for all these great people to meet one another. Would you all say that in short, do you feel like a good avenue to meet individuals nowadays would be some of the online situations that's happening? Would you prefer a referral where someone who knows someone that can introduce you to somebody? You feel better that way? Or, are you just meeting them the old fashioned way? Because I know we're not really going out as much as we were, but we're kind of going out a little bit, but but you can meet anybody anywhere, I have a very unique story on how I met my husband. So you can meet anywhere.
Yeah, share that with us, Ben.
I know.
I know it, but you share it with the people.
Yeah, well, I'll say, listen, my husband and I, we met in a grocery market. Literally, we did. And see, literally the moment we met, we sat down and chatted for a second, and he looked in my face and he said to me that day, he said, I'm going to marry you. And I thought to myself, no, you're not. Just hold on a second. We don't even know one another. But, you know, we were together every day after that, and it came true. And I mean, I couldn't be happier. So it was just like
Beautiful.
unbelievable. Something like that, you know, happened to me. So that's why I always tell my girls, you never know where love will find you. And so I just want everyone to step into the process, you know, to move cautiously. And when you're making a decision, and definitely have someone that you can grow with, and that you can see yourself in a future with, someone that you can communicate with. We all know that. We've said that word communication until we can't say it anymore.
Most important.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, it's almost so much communicating till we want to be quiet at this point. So
Yeah.
but I mean, I just, like I said, do you all feel that, you know, now again, like, since we're in kind of a little unique situation with everything that's happened with the pandemic and stuff, I would think that maybe the online situation is kind of ramping up. I mean, if I was single, I would probably go that way because I'm not going out a lot. And like you said, it gives you that time to kind of meet, see who's out there, and have these conversations with them. Is that a good avenue you would say to go nowadays? A little bit?
A lot of my girlfriends here, they have been on different social media sites. Guys, yeah.
Just because they can't get out as much.
Can't get out because, you know, it's still COVID is still out here strong.
Right, absolutely. And even if it's not just, I always say to the ladies like that I know, friends, of course, you guys and other women that are single, that even if it's just having conversations.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. And I think a lot of times people think just if you're visiting one of these sites or something like that, that it means, oh my goodness, like I'm out here and I'm dating hard and I'm like talking to a million guys. And that doesn't mean that. It could just be conversations. And you never know where you might meet a friend too at the same time. So
I think it's more acceptable now. And there's some really exclusive ones. I heard Everybody Talkify.
Oh, wow.
Which they've been, it's basically kind of a modern day matchmaker, but it's through, you know, you talk to a person who interviews you, they see if you're a good match, but you guys, it's the price is $10,000.
Oh, yes.
It's on sale for like $5,000.
Oh my goodness.
So, you know, if that is your route, that is where they take all the guessing games out. They look at your profile, they interview you, and they really match you with one person like a month or something. So they have an 88% success rate, but they should at 10.
I mean, really, they better guarantee for that kind of money. You better guarantee that we get married.
And that's just local. That's just local. If you want other cities, that's like $35,000. So, you know, they have really gotten more advanced with this online dating virtual space.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I can imagine, like I said, especially with everything that's going on with COVID. So.
Oh, and then there was another one I heard a girlfriend told me yesterday, something like Table for 8 or something. And so, have you heard of that, LaShawn?
No.
So this is cute. It's supposed to be local, but you get like 4 men, 4 women. You actually go to a restaurant. So I guess there's not a lot of that pressure. It's just you, it's just me, you know. So you just kind of talk and you go to a nice restaurant. You connect with that person who, you know, he gravitates toward you and vice versa. So I don't know if she didn't know if they were doing it, but I said, okay, that's interesting. That's a whole different kind of, dating site, or, you know, that's cute.
I like that too, because I mean, I like that a lot, Monique, because sometimes, you know, you are, especially when I shouldn't say this, but sometimes, you know, when we've been in relationships, or we've been married, or you dated, and then you kind of think like, oh my goodness, it's like this song is on repeat. I know when I was dating, and I would say to myself, I'm just going to start handing somebody a piece of paper, like, here's the information, like, read it before you talk to me, because you know, just repeating the same thing over and over. And so then I had to embrace it and say, you know what, listen, I'm gonna have fun with this dating game, and then just roll it out how it is. But I like that Table for 8. That sounds fun.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. So if it's in existence still, we'll link that below, ladies and gentlemen. But it sounds cool. I think for me, guys, courtship, that's not like dead. So it's okay to go for walks. It's okay to meet in the park. It's okay to go and just do some things without expecting anything, guys. I mean, we women like courtship. We love courtship. And we fall before any of the physical. Really, we do. We fall for your mind. We fall for how you care and support us, the things you do. So just remember that, guys that are out there. Ladies, am I right? If I'm right,
1,000%.
Absolutely.
That in chat, like the courtship is 2021. It is not dead at all for us. At all. It's a turn off when you don't try to court us.
And Monique, especially for a timeless woman, like a woman of a certain age, because we're accustomed to a certain way of that courtship. And that does not fall on deaf ears. Like, it is still alive. Chivalry is not dead.
Chivalry. I was gonna say chivalry is not dead.
And even because it's been a transition where I'm the strong woman. I don't need a man, all that kind of stuff. And I just say, women, they love that. I mean, open the door, send them flowers. Like you said, let's go for a walk. Let's meet for a coffee. Like, nothing's wrong with any of that type of stuff. It's those. Yeah. Go right ahead.
I was just saying, I think it's a circle, especially in the city I live, where the guy said, well, you all want to be so independent, so we're not doing that. And then the women go, well, we have to be independent because you all are treating us this way. So It's like a cycle. So let's get off of that cycle, folks. Yes. Let's just get off of it and give what we want in return. That goes for men and women. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get off that cycle.
I know, because that's how I am. It's like whatever I want from you, I'm willing to give that as well. That's how I feel.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of women feel like that. And I think that message needs to be heard. And like I said, I know, like you said, what's happening on social media, but I don't want that social media to really like get into this relationship thing and get it so offset until it pushes everybody even further away from connecting to one another, because now I need him to do this and have this and blah, blah, blah. And we forget about what it's really about at the end of the day. And that's love. You want love, you want companionship, you want a fun in your life. And so let's have that and let's do that. And we can get to that. And like you said, women are really, especially women of our space and, our age, we are willing to reciprocate what is given to us. That is who we are. It's in us. We don't mind that, but we want to know that, like you said, the gentleman has consistency, that he's considerate, that he's honest, he's not playing any games. And, when that man is coming with that package, we are there for him all day long.
All day. Yes.
All day long. So men, listen to what we're telling you. If you have any, conversation with this, we would love to know everybody's perspective. This is just the first one. We have a ton of conversations that we will have as it relates to relationship in all different perspectives. I mean, because we're going to make them fun on, some other things that make women happy and what women need and what the men need. We know how to cover all the bases. Like I said, we are well-seasoned women on this relationship game. So do you ladies have anything else that you want to kind of throw out there to the family?
Chivalry and the consistency.
Yeah. So timeless women need to be courted. They need the gentleman to be chivalrous. They need the gentleman to be able to consider them, to communicate with them. They need those things. And like I said, it's a lot.
And I will say this, because we're saying, and the guys are going to say, but what about you guys? Ladies, this right here, this mouth. Just take a few seconds before you say the things that you say. That's what we hear from our guys. Like, we're wonderful, we're beautiful, amazing creatures, but when we want to act ugly, we're great at that too. Many of us, most of us, right? So we need to temper that. We want this from the guy. We want that from the guy. But the guy does want peace, you know?
Yes.
He wants peace from us. He wants us to be his haven. So are you your guy's haven? And if
He wants
you
a home cooked meal
this
too, so
thing-
we can cook. No, sir.
yeah, oh yeah, all of that, all
We
of that.
cook too.
But definitely let's think about, let's look in the mirror too.
Yeah.
You know, let's look in the mirror too. And are we someone that a guy would just want to run home to? We need to, if it's that shadow work we need to do, then that's something we need to talk about in a later episode as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're not saying we have a laundry list for you and there's nothing we need to work on, because ladies, we're always trying to improve ourselves.
Yeah.
And that's
Very true.
2 cents, 8 cents. 8 cents.
We love that. No, really, that's good
Yeah.
good perspective and good information. Like I said, because we need to get down to these honest conversations with men and women right now, because I know a lot of men are thinking the same thing too. They're ready. You know, they're ready for this. Everybody wants to, you know, have someone wonderful that they can have fun with and communicate with and, you know, just spend time with. Thank you for stopping by the Chat Suite. As usual, we appreciate your time. We look forward to continuing to bring you great information. Comment in the chat box. Let us know what you think about what we're talking about today. If you have any perspective, anything you want for us to talk about, we'll be chatting about a lot more as it relates to relationships. Thank you for stopping by. See you later.
Bye. See you next time.